we have received a great number of registrations. As of yesterday, Mansi, could you tell me how much was the last count that we saw?
Krishna, we are already live, I think. Yes.
Yes, we are just waiting for a couple of participants to join in. We have got around 82. Let's wait for 2-3 more minutes.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, great. Okay, I think we have around 100 participants who joined in. So let us quickly start, and then as more people will join. Yeah. Okay. Good day, everybody who are joining us live today from different parts of the world for the launch of eZee Mint, eZee's dynamic pricing software. We have a very great event lined up for you guys today with panelists who are in the forefront of hospitality industry. My name is Parixit Popat. I will be your host today. I head the revenue management team at eZee. Now, if you're planning to take this event, any notes for this event rather, then you need not, because this is being recorded live, and we will be sharing this session with you at the end of this event so that you don't have to carry any paper pen notes with you, and you can always go back and review whatever our panelists have to say today to you guys. Now, if you have any questions during the session, you can always share it with us, and towards the end we will try to answer as many questions as possible. Now, without any further delay, since we have a good number of participants, let us start with the event. Now, for today's event, we have some great panelists. As I mentioned, we have Reece Evans, who's Area Manager Connectivity Partnership APAC region at Booking.com. We have Mathieu Verhaeghe, Regional Connectivity Head, Partnership Lead, APAC at Agoda. We have Akira Park, VP Customer Success and Head of Connected by Louis T at Louis T Collection. We have Endre Opdal, Founder and CEO of Hotel Online. Guys, thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule and doing this. It's a great honor to share a platform with some of the best minds in hospitality today. Our final panelist, ladies and gentlemen, today is Harshdeep Katri, CTO of eZee Technosys, who has been working very closely on this tool. Now, before we move to the actual launch and we hear from our panelists today, let us just go on and look at some of the numbers that we have had due to COVID. Okay, so if we are to believe the reports that have surfaced recently, okay, the hotel market is made up of over 400 rooms worldwide. In 2018, hospitality or hotel industry was contributing to around 10.2% of the global GDP. Global travel bookings had reached 1.6 trillion USD in 2017. Now, the pandemic has had a really bad impact across the globe, right? And hospitality has lost around 2.4 trillion global, 2.4 trillion USD globally. Okay, and the businesses have shrunk down by 85%. I'm sure we will get more insights on this from our panelists as we move forward. The largest dips in the occupancy was seen in Italy, 96%, and China, 68%. And there was a time when COVID was not heard of. We did not know what COVID was. It never existed. In that time, all the hoteliers majorly relied on occupancy to base their pricing. Now, during that time, since other factors were not much considered, we as industry leaders had created a tool within our channel manager environment, which allowed hoteliers to do occupancy-based pricing. But COVID has brought a paradigm shift in the way we price ourselves, right? We have to look beyond occupancy as a base factor to price ourselves. We have to look into seasonality, day of the week, month of the year, and even overall demand, okay, to capture. And since a lot of bookings have moved to last minute, okay, we are also looking into the time of the day. Now, since international tourism is not yet picked up and offline events are not happening, like there has been a significant decline in MICE, there has been a significant decline in wedding parties, there has been a significant decline in walk-ins. People have moved back. Hoteliers are now relying more on OTAs to get the business. The travelers do not want to take risk with their travels. They are making sure that travels are safe. They are also moved to OTAs to make their bookings, right? And so we would like to hear some thoughts, from our first panelists on how getting OTAs or how getting bookings online is a win-win both for OTAs and for the hotels. Our first panelist, ladies and gentlemen, for the day is Reece Evans, who I mentioned earlier, is lead area manager for Connectivity Partnership APAC region at Booking.com. He has been a founding member for this segment and has been working in the forefront for over a decade now. Reece has a great passion for technology, and he wants to ensure, or he's working towards ensuring, that accommodations can get maximum out of these partnerships, which is going to help Booking.com, which is going to help the accommodations and connectivity providers. So without wasting any further time, I'd like to invite Reece to present his points on this. Reece, whenever you're ready, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the lovely introduction as well. I'm just going to share my screen now. Having some technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Okay. You will be able to share now.
Sorry, give me one moment.
Sure.
Rightio. Yeah, let's try again.
Sure. Yes.
Yes, okay, fantastic. Rightio, should be able to see a very nice beach slide. Just a thumbs up, Paris, from you, Parixit. Yep, can see it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
fantastic.
I can see it. Yes.
So firstly, it's just a pleasure to be here today with our partner eZee and the other panelists. With eZee being our premier connectivity, one of our premier connectivity providers with Booking.com. As everyone will know and have experienced, it's certainly been an uncertain time for both partners and guests, with many dynamics shifting over the past 18 months. Therefore, today I wanted to start by sharing with our partners how customer behaviors are changing based on the learnings from data that we are seeing at Booking.com, and then informing you what actionable opportunities you can take with your Booking.com platform to keep pricing dynamic for your property. So what are the 5 new customer behaviors that we are observing in the market? Number one is that customers are driven by flexibility and transparency. So travelers are wanting to know the overall expected price upfront with no unexpected costs on arrival at the property. They're focused on long-term planning. So customers are planning their trips much more in advance to gain the best value and experience. They're more and more informed about the different types of rates. So we've seen that travelers want to feel that they're paying the right price for the experience they get, and therefore they're really investing more time in researching rates for your property. Okay. They're sensitive about cancellation policies, and flexible cancellation policies offer potential bookers more freedom in case their plans and circumstances change. And last but not least, they're really excited about offers and discounts. So we're seeing a brand new world of offers and discounts that customers are looking for, and businesses are willing to offer to stay competitive. So how do you ensure, as an accommodation, you're being dynamic with your pricing to capture the broadest guest reach through the Booking.com channel then? And the suggestions that come today are rooted in bringing the best value to our mutual customers, and we're committed to supporting you and your pricing strategy as accommodations both today and when travel demand returns in the future. So the Booking.com pricing toolkit follows 3 steps to help you set the foundations for dynamic pricing on our channel to achieve your occupancy and revenue goals. And we start with the pricing foundation. So this is the initial step, all about the importance of a tailored rate plan setup that offers travelers choice and flexibility while optimizing your performance, especially as travel demand returns. So what we've seen at Booking.com is 44% of travelers that booked in mid-2020 said that free cancellation was the main reason that they stayed at the property they did. And 33% said that free rescheduling was the second most important reason that they booked the property. That's why we've helping our partners make the most of this demand for flexibility, and we've created something called the flexible 1-day policy, which allows partners to quickly extend all their free cancellation periods so that guests can cancel up to 1 day before check-in. And what our data is showing with this is that partners who implement it increase their visibility on our channel by up to 23%. So it's a really, really good opportunity to get yourself out there. So the moral here is to start with flexibility, but to establish the strongest foundational base with your pricing from a dynamic perspective, there's 2 other rate plans you can offer as well, which I'm sure some accommodations here are familiar with. That's non-refundable rate plan, which helps reduce cancellations by an average of 9% through our channel. And it can also boost overall bookings by up to 5%. So prices for non-refundable rates are generally lower than free cancellation rates. But on the other hand, the rate plan tends to generate more bookings, partly because the lower rates are more compelling for travelers looking for the best value. And then an early booker rate plan helps you secure bookings in advance, and it's generally the best rate plan that you can offer in terms of price. So you can offer this rate plan alongside a variety of cancellation terms or in combination with the non-refundable policy. So remember, offering the 3 rate plans will give you the strongest foundation, and that's really kind of the first step in our pricing toolkit with Booking.com to keep your pricing dynamic. And we've made it actually very simple for any of these three rate plans to be applied in your booking.com extranet under the rates and availability tab. And you can just see an example here of an accommodation that has both fully flexible and non-refundable loaded already. And their early booker rate is not loaded. They don't have an early booker rate loaded. We just make it really simple to let them see that it hasn't been added yet. And you can simply navigate to add rate plan to do that. And the great thing is that this functionality is also available in eZee to set up your rates and policies. So you can replicate these rate plans and policies within your eZee platform for booking.com. And this may make it easier if you're trying to kind of link things back to your property management system. So really good opportunity for you to take advantage via your platform of choice being eZee. So once the foundations are in place, the second step you can explore is to increase your occupancy throughout the year. So you're looking at a longer term view moving into the next section with proactive pricing solutions. So on the left-hand side, it talks about premium opportunities, and this is all about increasing share of customer bookings. And the example we give here is Genius, which boosts your property's visibility in search results with our most valuable user group of customers. So Genius customers tend to book more, spend more, and cancel less. So it's a good opportunity to get that part of the market if you're eligible for the Genius product with your property. And then on the other side, there's more targeted opportunities you can take in terms of your pricing solutions with booking. So we offer targeted opportunities that help you reach a defined set of customers. And country rates is an example where you can increase your domestic marketing performance and price competitiveness via a closed user group discount for specific regions or countries. And you may be in a region that hasn't seen demand return from an international perspective yet. So you can actually load this domestically as well for a specific domestic rate for a set of customers in that region. Then mobile rates can increase your booking from mobile devices by an average of 26% on booking.com. So that's a great opportunity if you haven't already taken it to increase your performance once you have the foundations in place. And eZee has worked really closely with the booking.com connectivity team to ensure our mutual partners such as yourselves can take advantage of these solutions from directly in their channel management platform. So you can actually activate Genius for your property from the eZee platform by navigating to the eZee Opportunity Center on their homepage. And you can also take advantage of country and mobile rates by navigating to the promotion center, the eZee Promotion Center as well. So eZee have made it really easy to make this happen through your booking.com platform via their product, which we're very happy to see and value the partnership that we have. So once you have, your foundations in place, you've started to explore some of those more proactive solutions with your pricing. The third step is understanding how to solve more short-term occupancy challenges in your business and to boost performance through reactive pricing solutions. So we have 3 reactive pricing solutions. The first one is standard deals, which is highly customizable, flexible promotions that help you tackle a specific issue that you may have identified in the market with your occupancy strategy and your strategies within your business. Deep deals give you a temporary increase of visibility in booking.com searches to make your property stand out at a specific point in time. So, if you're in your low season, you really want to pick something up, then deep deals may be a way of doing that. And then visibility booster helps your property stand out to bookers on specific high demand dates. So when that demand starts to return, then it's a good idea to look at this visibility booster. So in summary, start with the pricing foundations if you don't have that in place already. Ensure your foundational rate plans are in place to attract the widest variety of travelers. Explore proactive solutions like Genius or targeted rates to increase occupancy throughout the year. And then understand when you should use reactive solutions like deals to boost performance and solve a short-term need. And the great thing is that with eZee being a booking.com connectivity premier partner for 2021, they've built all of these solutions into their product to help you maximize this. And I think the product that they're talking about today can really help you with things like the reactive solutions, identify where are those opportunities in the market where you can actually take advantage of these solutions. So just wanted to thank eZee for the opportunity for me to present around dynamic pricing with Booking.com, and I encourage all the partners on this call, if you haven't already, to visit our partner.booking.com partner hub. It has a lot of information about this pricing toolkit amongst other topics for Booking.com to keep your pricing dynamic. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Reece, for sharing these valuable insights with us.
Very welcome.
Okay. While you were speaking, we got a couple of questions for you, if you would like to answer those.
Sure.
So I like to know, this is one question that has come to me, that how often do you see hoteliers changing the price in the post-COVID era, and how was it in the pre-COVID era? So how much more we have moved towards dynamism specifically?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question. I think, to be honest, it's quite a difficult one to answer with the broad range of partners and geographies that Booking.com do operate in. However, we do see that it's not so much about how often, but more importantly, it's when and why you should change your pricing. So thinking about what tools, services and resources are out there at your disposal to help make those decisions, like the product that you're announcing today. And our top tip around this is to utilize the Booking.com analytics tab if you're thinking about your Booking.com product, which is also available in your eZee Channel Manager, and it gives you a range of analytics to actually help you understand what the situation your business is in, to help with pricing.
There was another question that had come up. Okay.
Yep.
That what are the factors, according to you, that hoteliers should consider when they are doing pricing now? Okay. And you mentioned about Booking.com's analytics. Okay. So I wanted to know from you that how Booking.com is helping the hoteliers, okay, to sort of learn or create a pricing strategy for their hotels.
Yeah, sure. I think we're constantly helping our partners in how customers' behaviors are evolving. Like, really, we're there to help you understand what's happening with the Booking.com set of customers. And again, this just brings me back to our analytics platform, which eZee has embedded within your platform as well. Yes. It provides the transparency that can be easily accessed by our partners of what's happening with guest searches. You know, things like how much international versus domestic traveler business are you seeing? And then actually eZee has done a great job in linking in, if you see more domestic business, what's the opportunity to take there from a Booking.com perspective with deals, plus things like your top search booking sources by country, which is all in the eZee platform or the Booking.com extranet as well. So I think it's really about helping our partners understand how these customer behaviors are evolving. I think it's within something like a 2-week period, or a month or something like that. So it's really quite up to date, and it does constantly evolve. So we definitely encourage our partners to keep their finger on the pulse with that.
Okay, great. Reece, thank you so much for that insight. I think our hoteliers will be able to use these insights for a better pricing. Okay.
You're welcome.
With that, let us move to our next panelist. Our next panelist is Mathieu Verhaeghe, who's Regional Connectivity Partnership Lead APAC at Agoda. And he's been, again, leading this from the forefront. Okay, he is responsible for securing and leading partnership within APAC region with connectivity providers. Mathieu, without wasting any time, it's over to you. Please go ahead and share your thoughts on dynamic pricing and how it is a win-win for OTAs and hoteliers.
Thanks for the lovely introduction. Let me share my screen.
Yes. Let me stop mine. Okay, let's do this. Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, thank you very much again for the opportunity. I think it's great to be here and representing proudly the Agoda connectivity team. So yeah, as Reece, my colleague from Booking.com mentioned, I think it's a great opportunity for us to talk about revenue strategy. I think it's the right time given the situation, and it's also important for us to try to discuss the next step and see how technology and automation can improve the overall experience also for hotel partners. So let's move. So this is who I am, of course. Let's move on to the first slide I wanted to discuss today with you. So yeah, I wanted to show you the results of one of our latest customer demand surveys that we conducted, in the last months to understand three main things. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is that people want to travel more frequently and they want to explore more local destinations. So this is what we observed in the last months. People make very last minute decisions. They book really last minutes, and they are not afraid of taking their car, driving 2 to 3 hours to explore new areas. So obviously this has an impact on your pickup time because reservations are made last minute. So this is also something you need to take into account moving forward. The second point I wanted to mention is price. Obviously, price remains the number one component in the decision-making process, and not only in Asia, across all different regions. People spend time comparing travel deals on OTAs and distribution platforms. So I think the main message is to leverage these relationships, make sure that you are increasing your exposure and market your property as efficiently as possible on these platforms. And then the third point, which is quite important, becoming even more important now, is experience. So we knew it was very important before, but now it's getting real. People they don't want to just spend the night in a hotel or a destination. They want to really enjoy the facilities. They really want to take the time to relax. So I really strongly recommend you to rethink the value proposition, which is obviously linked to your pricing strategy, and to make it even more attractive for future hotel guests.
Okay.
On the 4 tips, so yeah, just wanted to share the couple of things that we did in the last months. Also sharing what works, what we are proud of. We've worked on a couple of, as I said, work on initiatives with hotel partners and trying to help them in this challenging time. So I would say the first one is as exactly what my colleague Reece told you just before, is about providing flexibility. It's really a key component. Make sure that you are working on a very flexible or semi-flexible pricing strategy to anticipate the need of these future guests. People are still very hesitant from time to time mainly because of the travel restrictions. So this is also reassuring them to book their rooms on Agoda or on any distribution platforms. Is just really focus on the flexibility and make sure you are reassuring them. So the second one is we've been quite busy with that. We've helped our properties trying to catch the guests' attention around their area. So we've seen that people they were not afraid to take their car and drive around to explore new destinations. Obviously, with the travel restrictions also between provinces, I think whenever it's people are able to travel or allowed to travel, we see that they are coming back. It's really important to mention that the industry is quite resilient, very ready for the rebound. So yeah, what we saw in Thailand and across over Southeast Asian markets is that they were trying to leverage also their domestic packages, trying to work on very specific travel deals to attract the local customers within a certain area. So this is quite important to keep in mind. It's to focus on the domestic travel. The third one is very important. We talk about pricing, but also pricing is one thing, but also content is another. I think the two are very important for hotel partners. I think it's a good opportunity also for you to review and update the content. So customers have obviously higher expectations. They are looking for experiences when they travel. So I would rather recommend you to review your amenities, your room types, rate plans, and potentially include value-added benefits. So we've seen that in a couple of Asian destinations, whenever a property is rethinking the strategy, adding food and beverage vouchers or on-site experiences, making the most of their facilities, we had more bookings coming in.
Okay.
Sorry. On the fourth one, I think it's also very important to leverage the different packages and channels that are available to you. It goes back to what my colleague Reece was telling you a little bit before, is to set yourself up for success, making sure that you have competitive rates, attractive deals, and also promotional campaigns to reach a wider audience and the customers that are also from on Agoda side, for example. When you have Agoda private sales, you can reach the loyal customers of Agoda. And the last point I wanted to mention is obviously the extremely good relationship that we have with eZee Technosys. I think we've been working closely together to offer greater flexibility, better innovation to help our hotel partners maximize their visibility on Agoda, but also improve their daily operations. Because I think we have four main benefits. Obviously, the first one is extremely important. So with a reliable tech solutions like eZee Technosys, our partners are able to create new listings, streamline their onboarding process on OTAs, not only Agoda, but also on booking.com, as my colleague said. But this is, we know that, it takes a lot of time to manage room types, rate plans, pictures, amenities across, different booking channels. So I think here we are bringing a lot of value for hotel partners. We can really optimize this thanks to this, API and automation solution. The second one is obviously, a key component. So making sure that your, prices, availability restrictions are sent to Agoda in real time, not only Agoda, but also your different booking channels. eZee Technosys has always, exceeded performance expectations as an innovative supplier, and with more than 98.5% of success rate for rates and availability, but also booking delivery. So which is also very important to mention when it comes to dynamic pricing, because you really want not to spend manual work on fixing errors when it comes to prices and bookings. The third one is also related to what I mentioned on promotional campaigns, is to basically allow or enable new promotions directly from your eZee interface. So we have the possibility to create up to 6 promotion types directly from the eZee interface. Early bird, last minute, weekend getaways. I think it's going to be extremely helpful for hotel partners to have one single platform to manage these type of promotions. And the fourth point is very much aligned with the topic today, is managing pricing per occupancy. So making the most of your rooms and trying to set different prices for the same room, but based on the number of guests staying in the room, right? So it's also something that has been automated thanks to you guys, thanks to eZee team, and then we can see a good traction among our hotel partners really adopting this feature and making a lot of adjustments in terms of pricing and on occupancy.
Okay.
I think we can talk about it, for hours. I think there are a lot of things to be said, but I would say you have a lot of details about the different solutions and programs for hotels on our dedicated website. I strongly encourage you to have a look at the website and reach out to your market managers or anyone in the connectivity team to discuss what's best for you. I think if I can sum it up briefly, I think we see that we have a lot of opportunities. Pricing is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
We have to automate the manual work as much as possible, and this is where tech can help. So I would suggest to save your precious time to focus on your guests that are coming back in the properties.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Mathieu, thank you so much again for doing this. I had another question for you.
Yes.
Okay, since you are mentioning about Agoda playing a front role, right? I wanted to know that how Agoda is helping hoteliers, gain that market recovery.
Yes.
Or how are you guys contributing towards market recovery?
Yeah, of course. Very good question. I think we could have a webinar just for that, right? We've been quite busy, as I said. I think it has COVID has a significant impact on the entire industry, and we've been very busy trying to adjust our priorities and help the hotel partners make the most of the situation. We've from our side we've been trying to stay as agile and flexible as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Try to provide immediate support to guests when the pandemic started in 18 months ago, and also for the accommodation partners. So I would say on two things. On the customer side, I think we've worked very closely with government authorities. I can think of Thailand and Japan, for example.
Mm-hmm.
We launched quarantine programs, for example, with government accredited hotels. So we've been quite busy on that side, trying to as I said, make the most of the situation, help the properties capture the demand for these type of programs and given the restrictions. On the accommodation partner side, we've been quite busy setting up new marketing campaigns. So I can think of Go Local, for example, which will stimulate domestic travel. So we've been we've seen a lot of good results especially in Southeast Asia, where we were trying to stimulate the local demand by launching very ambitious marketing campaign such as Go Local until international travel is allowed. Okay.
One last question before I let you go. Since you've been working with a lot of governments closely, you've been working with all the connectivity partners, you've been working with all the hoteliers, accommodation providers. What do you think are the major challenges that hoteliers are facing or industry is facing right now to come back on the track? What are the major hurdles that they need to come across or cross to sort of come back on track?
Yes, very good question. I think we are all checking the news every day, right? It's about the vaccination rate. I think access to vaccines, I think is becoming critical. I think
Okay.
I think it's reducing our chances to make travel safely, right? So I can think of the US market, for example. We have very good example when people had access to the vaccines and the vaccination rate was really accelerating. We saw that people were wanting to travel again, and they were ready for the rebound. I think it's quite interesting to look at this. Also on the obviously the travel restrictions, not only at international level, but also, as I said, domestically between provinces. I'm thinking about Thailand. You know, we have also heavy, or India, for example, we have heavy restrictions in some of the provinces. So we really keep an eye on this to make sure that we can, you know, prepare what is right for hotels when people are coming in. Just to finish on a more positive, you know, note, I would say that, yeah, what we could see is that when it's open again, when people are allowed to travel, they want to travel. So it's coming, and when it's coming, it's going to come fast again. So we really need to be ready for that and help the properties making the most of their distribution platforms like Agoda, but also you know, help them make informed decisions with technology that is available. So this is why I think my our suggestion or recommendation moving forward.
Okay, thank you so much, Mathieu, for your insights. I think people will be also going to, I think you also have mentioned about the partner hub. People will be able to contribute to that and gain some insight from that as well. Now I think wait, let me just put up my screen one more time. Okay. So for us now, it's time to go and have the live demo of eZee Mint. Now, before I get Harshdeep on stage, I like to just share a small story of how eZee Mint came to be. So when we were working on this product, we were working on naming the product, right? You know, we had decided we looked at different perspectives, right? Because we could not focus only on occupancy, we had to go beyond occupancy. We had to look at many different angles to derive the pricing. We had to bring in a fresh perspective. And what better than mint? When you say mint, it comes with the freshness term, right? And second reason to name it mint was as revenue managers, we look at minting money, right, for the hotel. And then we decided, let's go with the name Mint. And now, without wasting any further time, I'd like to invite Harshdeep to give a demonstration of how Mint functions. Harshdeep, over to you.
Thank you, Parixit.
I'll stop my screen so that you can present yours.
Yes.
Give me a second, and here we go.
So finally, moment of the truth. Thank you, Parixit, once again for transferring this control to me. Very warm welcome to all of you to this live event and demonstration of eZee Mint system. So before I start my demonstration, let me share some relevant information with all of you. Whenever any system is designed or developed, it has some of the key objectives in mind, and even they have certain problems to solve. Similarly, when we were deciding the foundation of eZee Mint system, we have kept certain points in our mind. That first point is how easily or quickly user can set up the dynamic pricing. Second, how can we provide a greater insights of hotel business to the user that can help them to design an optimum price strategy. Third, how can we ensure that user will always remain in full control of their pricing? And final and very important point was how this new system that we are building, how deeply it can work with our existing products. So our customer can take advantage of our end-to-end solution. So by having all this point in mind, we have designed this system. Now let us try to understand how all of this objective can be solved by the eZee Mint system. So under my demonstration, first thing I want to cover is a rule engine itself. That is the heart and brain of eZee Mint system. Here you can see we have provided various parameters that can help user to achieve the dynamic pricing. Starting from very basic one, that is weekdays and weekend pricing, a month-wise pricing, or pricing based on seasonality. Some other parameters, obvious one like hotel's own occupancy, how that fluctuate, and if that can be associated with the change in the price, then overall demand, and few advanced ones like last minute rule, if hotel wants to target their last minute bookings, or pricing depends on the lead time. Depends on user preference and how my hotel is receiving business, what is the business pattern. I can choose some of the parameters or all of the parameters. If you see there is no compulsion here, user just have to enable or disable by single click. They just have to provide some basic parameters, like in this example setup. I have designed a 4 slab of occupancy, and this is how I want to change my pricing, depends on occupancy. So for an instance, I want that whenever my occupancy reached between 26 to 50%, my base price should be increased by $20, $200. So here, user will always remain in full control of their pricing. And we also have our master switch. At any given point in time, user thinks that this price recommendation is not optimum, which is they think of. They can simply disable this dynamic pricing by one click. So this is it for a rule engine. Now, let us try to understand how eZee main system is providing a greater insights to the user. Now, under this part, I want to cover dashboard. At the top section, you can see a very basic KPIs of hotel that we have provided, that is occupancy, ADR, revenue, RevPAR, and its comparison with the last year. Same time, we have also provided their pickup information, their cancellation rate, average length of stay, and average lead time. So this information is really good enough to get a quick glance of the hotel overall, how business is functioning at this moment. Just below that, we have various kinds of graphs. Let me try to cover each one in brief. So first graph that we have is a rule change timeline. As we have applied dynamic pricing and rule engine is in charge of the pricing, this particular graph will share a timeline. If user wants to check in last 24 hours, how many times my rate has been fluctuated by the rule engine, this graph can provide them good insights. Like if you take example at 11 AM, you can see 23 times my pricing has been changed because of various events and the rules that I have applied. Beside that, I have a booking curve. It is a relation establishment between a lead time and the room nights that I'm receiving for the various bookings. Below that, very obvious OTA wise or the source wise room night distribution. Right to it, we have a booking window. Again, a relation establishment between a lead time and total percentage of booking. So if you see for this example setup, 80% of booking always comes very late for this hotel where lead time is less than 4 nights. So you having these insights, user can further decide that what rules they want to enable. They can take advantage of a lead time rule or the last minute rule. And in the bottom, we have a comparison of revenue and the room nights, that is of current year month-wise, and that too of same month last year. After that, I want to cover a pickup report. This is very simple pace report that we have designed. It tells user that how fast or slowly booking activities are happening for the future date. And in simple words, it tells the demand of the future date. And as a user, when I want to compare my current position with the past date, this reports will give me a very clear picture that what was the situation earlier, where I am at this point in time, and what all changes that have taken place in between. So for example, here for 19th of August, you can see I have 174 rooms available, out of which 6 get occupied. My percentage of occupancy is 3.45. This is my revenue on the book, average room rate on the book, and my current base price. further we have a distribution that how my room is being occupied. And on the right side, I am having a pickup information. As we are comparing 19th August with the last 7 days scenario, we can see in absolute number, there are 3 rooms has been picked up, but my revenue has been pickup revenue is dropped by certain amount. And based on that, as the dynamic pricing is applied, my pickup rate or base rate has been changed or dropped by $13. So having these kind of insights of the future demands, user can further optimize what kind of strategy they want to opt for. And in final part, now we may have a question as a user that if we set up everything at the price level, what insights I can get or how the overall pricing will look like. So whenever user go to the pricing screen, they can see a picture like this, where as rule engine has now taken the charge of my pricing, you can see the rates are no longer editable. But whenever user hover on particular cell, they can get the clear insights like this, that my base rate was 100 when I initially started, but depends on various rules I have applied, my final rate has become 134. So in this way, the system will remain really transparent to user. Always they know that what rules are being applied and how their pricing is being calculated. And for an instance, if user thinks that this particular rate 134 is not looking pleasant to me for 28 August, just by single click, I can disable and take the control of this particular day. I can update it very easily. And if user is of the opinion that they want to update the pricing for larger date range for a month or for a weeks, then they can take help of either distribution wizard or the bulk update wizard. All these rate updates that is happening by the eZee Mint is being protected with the rate threshold mechanism, where this extra layer of protection always prevent accidental very low or high rate update. So actually this helps to avoid any obvious mistake that user can do while configuring the dynamic pricing. So this is a really good mechanism that we have. Very soon we are going to launch or release a competitor analysis feature, where I can, as a user, I can compare my live pricing with my ideal competitor set. And not only that, further, there is a kind of automation that we are going to provide. Let's say if my competitor price is decrease or increase, what effect, what kind of influence I want to give on my own pricing. So this kind of automation will also available very soon. So beauty of this system is everything is working in real time. As soon as any particular rule is changed by the user or any event has happened, this price calculation, rules application, and further publishing these rates to all the respective connected parties like OTA, meta search, it started very instantly without any user action. And this eZee Mint system pricing engine is really deeply connected with all our existing products. So it doesn't matter if you want to apply this dynamic pricing to the OTA or meta search. If you want to apply to your own booking engine, that is also possible. And even if you think that you want to take advantage of this dynamic pricing for the offline bookings, even that is also possible. So this new product really work really fair with all our existing products. I think by this time, you guys have received fair understanding that how eZee Mint system is working in totality. With this, I want to rest my demonstration here. Parixit, over to you.
Thank you so much, Harshdeep, for a very detailed presentation. I'm sure there are already a couple of questions that we have for you. I think we'll be taking one or two and then we'll move forward.
Sure.
So one question for you is that, Harshdeep, can data be compared versus last week, last month, or custom date, or right now it is only on year-on-year basis on the dashboard? I think this is a question for dashboard.
Right. So for dashboard, actually, we are still working on various kind of widgets. So if you have pay attention to my demonstration, there is a section where you can control this widget. So this is what comes as by default, but very soon we are in process where we are going to unleash higher level of understanding to the user, where it can give a complete understanding of each and every moment, not just for single day or the year comparison, even week comparison or month comparison can be possible in future.
Okay. Somebody is asking that can we have setup by channel? Can we have different rates going on different channels, or website rates lower by 10% than channels? So are we doing, or are we looking at a complete dynamism where we offer different rates to different partners?
Yes, so at channel manager level, eZee Syntex, we have this provision, but that very obvious question that comes to my mind when we want to apply dynamic pricing, that why I want to restrict myself or my hotel to take advantage of a dynamism at particular channel only.
Right.
Right. When there is a opportunity, I can receive a booking from everywhere. Why should I restrict myself for a single or restricted OTAs only?
Right. And I think we also, as a channel manager provider and a connectivity partner company, we do not want to sort of get much into disparity. We try to have rate parity across. Right. Okay. I think with that we move ahead. Okay. So eZee Mint that we have designed, okay, is not just a pricing engine. It is giving you an extensive dashboard that we have created, a very informative dashboard that we have for you guys. So as revenue managers, when we come in the morning, there are some quick calls that we have to make. We have to see what is the situation today, and that is something that we have covered on our dashboard, that what pickup we have received, what are the cancellations that have happened for today's stay date, what is the revenue, what is the occupancy, what is the length of stay. And we are also doing source wise distribution that we have provided in the pie chart. Now this was specifically done so that you as a hotelier can know that where you are strong and which OTA is not been giving you much bookings, so that you can work on those sources specifically and try and get more bookings from there as well. The booking curve is going to give you idea as to where you were last time this year, and the booking window is giving you an idea as to how many days in advance your bookings are coming, so that when people are applying offers, which Matthew and Reece told you that there are so many offers or rate plans that you can go for, these rate plans become useful when you know when to apply them. And that is exactly what we're trying to give you with the use of our booking window. Now we have seen a lot of providers that give you, or as revenue managers, we tend to look everything, like we are looking at multiple data points when it comes to pickup. So what we did was we brought all those data points at one place with this pickup report, so that you can make your pricing decisions quicker rather than spending 4 or 5 hours of analysis. Okay, and that is where again the Mint is going to help you to work your pricing much more. What also sets us apart from our competitors is the competition rule that Harshdeep talked about. And who better than Akira to explain about competition. So our very next guest today is Akira Park, who's VP of Customer Success and Head of Connected by Louis T at Louis T Collection. Akira started, I think, as a general manager, if I recall correctly, and then further he moved up. Okay, and now he's the head of customer success. He's also seen pre-opening, reopening, and also he's been working closely, I think, in countries like USA, South Korea, China, in development and analytical technology. So Akira, without any further ado, I think I'd like to hand over to you and get your insights on what is the importance of competition analysis and how effective it can drive your pricing strategy. Over to you, Akira.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction. If we can go to the next slide, please.
Sure.
So I just want to start with the basics of competition analysis. First of all, why we're doing it. It's to define the price baseline and understand your market. And how we do that is pick the hotel that offers a similar value, or if you want to enter a new hotel segment, pick the value that represents a new market. And what we get at the end is a price guideline, of course, but also unique selling point, strategy, and competitive environment. So in summary, competition analysis forms a foundation of your pricing strategy, right? So now if you look at the chart, we represent the actual example we did recently. In this case, we looked at 4-star hotels that wants to get into spa wellness market. So if you look at the first column, you can see that all the hotels are 4 stars, obviously. And next category is TripAdvisor rankings. In this market, you can see that most of the hotels are highly ranked in TripAdvisor, which means that spa wellness market is highly competitive in this area. And if this hotel wants to enter this market, it will need to focus on delivering high quality service to compete. The next category is how many hotels are in the area. By doing this, we can see how crowded the market is. And in this example, we can expect about 21 hotels that will have to compete geographically. And if you have too many competition, that means that rate will also be very competitive, right? And we'll have downward pressure to lower the rates. The build and renovation year is also important. Historically, if the hotel is newer, they can charge a premium rates. And based on that, you can decide if your hotel needs to be renovated or not. And shorter distance to airport and train station is also linked to the higher room rate. The number of F&B outlets can tell you how much space you need to dedicate within your hotel, especially if you're looking for renovation. And number of rooms and room size is classical variable in competition analysis, right? Traditionally, it was the most common factor that people looked at. However, it is slowly changing due to the availability of hotel information and search engine algorithms, which I will talk about in the next slide. And lastly, we have a min, median, and max rate of competition hotels, which will give us the range of price in this market. Next slide, please.
Sure.
So that was what we do traditionally. So what's the modern competition analysis, right? So what's different now? So before, operator owner defined the competition, right? As seen on private side, we pick the variables, we pick the hotels, and we define who to compare with. But now, more and more, guests are defining your hotel's competition. So if you search a hotel on Google or Meta Search recently, you will see the recommendation algorithm kicking in, showing your hotels compared to other hotels that guests are looking at. So the easiest example, I guess people understand, is Amazon.com, right? They're the first one who actually did it effectively. So everyone understands the phrase, users who purchase this item also purchased X, Y, Z. And this is powerful because it is based on big data and actual guest interaction versus our intuitions, which sometimes can be misleading. And lastly, guests use social media for validation now. So when it comes to tiebreakers, if they want to pick which hotel they want to go next, they compare the hotel solely based on visuals only. So in these days, if you don't have social media, you really don't exist anymore. And it's mandatory at this point. So why dynamic pricing, right? To me, it's a game changer, right? The hotel rate, if you've done right, includes all the variables that goes into competition analysis I talked about, plus other factors depending on the hotel, which means dynamic price equals having competitive analysis 24/7. In summary, hotel room rate can be compared to similar to a price of stock in the financial market. So current price reflects all available public information and it changes in real time. And knowing all this, I'm very excited for the future of revenue management because we can streamline room rate pricing and make this technology available to everyone to improve the room rate calculations and do it more scientifically.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. That was very apt and to the point. I needed to know from you that, for Louis T collection, okay, since you are a very niche brand, how important competition analysis is for you guys and how often do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's foundation of any hotel strategy, right? It really defines your hotel and then what type of customer you want to focus on. And unlike larger chain hotels, independent hotels have less resource, which means it's more important to focus on specific market and be the best in that segment. So for us, we do it every quarter or every time we need to change our strategy.
Okay. And do you guys also sort of change your competitors on time-to-time basis?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, I obviously recommend to do it once a year at least, but ideally every quarter, depending on your situation. But with especially with ongoing COVID situation, there are so many hotels changes, especially closure at this time. And then when it recovers, you're going to have a rapid opening too. So my recommendations have a standard static comp set that you really think is a core, but also maybe 2 or 3 comp hotels based on algorithms. So you can choose your own relevant meta search that's within your geographic area. And then based on the recommendation of algorithm, you can pick those hotels included within your comp set to be a little bit more dynamic.
Okay. So we should have a couple of static hotels and then we should reinvent every quarter or every year where we are standing.
Correct. So you got the traditional static hotel method that we did earlier. So that, because at the end, the revenue manager still likes that idea. And then you want to include the dynamic portion of it from whether that would be Google or OTAs or the meta search like TripAdvisor, and then include those things because those hotels really represent the real customer interactions, right? So you want to include that also.
Okay. I think that's great insight from you, Akira. It's always a pleasure to hear from you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So moving forward with this, when we are working on eZee, we have always wanted to cover multiple grounds. We did not want to restrict ourselves only to individual hotels. We also wanted to see chains and other alternate accommodations also working on this. Now, speaking of chains, we have our next speaker, who is someone who's associated with eZee for a very long time. Okay, we have Endre Opdal, who's the CEO of Hotel Online, which is the #1 hospitality provider in Africa. And they are working, I think, with 5,000 plus accommodations in tech and innovation and helping them improve their revenue. Endre, I'd now like to take you on speakers panel, and I'd like you to give importance of dynamic pricing in small and mid-sized hotels.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to share experiences with eZee and your audience. So as you mentioned, Hotel Online, we work with a large number of properties in Africa, East and West Africa mostly. And we use whatever it takes, the best technology and best services to increase the performance of these hotels. That's why we are so excited about your new product. We have a long partnership with eZee.
Yes.
Traditionally, in the markets we are active in, pricing has been extremely static. Properties have had the same price if they are full or if they are empty. Changing these prices has not been easy. Sometimes you would have to have even a management meeting to change the price. Meaning that it's not been very dynamic, and even changing performance of hotel has not been easy. Also, a lot of properties are very focused on the average room rate instead of looking at the total performance of the property. Yeah, they might have only sell 2 rooms for the right price while 50 rooms are unsold because they're not adapting to the market. The few rate changes we have seen has been mostly because of OTAs pushing properties, to do campaigns and discounts. Again, shifting a lot of business from direct bookings to OTAs is more and more important in Africa. So that's the situation we have. I think you can take the next slide.
Sure.
So of course, with COVID, it's been very painful, but pain also brings a lot of change. And what we see now is that the market, of course, becomes smaller because most African countries depend a lot of international business from Europe, Asia, US. That business we're not seeing anymore. The only thing we are seeing is local demand, local and regional demand. meaning that there's a big need to change for these hotels. You have a situation where you can say the winner takes it all. If you're a great hotel, great ranking on the OTAs, you are able to sell much more if you're doing not so good. We also see, specifically in Africa, yes, people have smartphone, etc. But typically what's happened is that you see OTA bookings are only like 25% of the total revenue. Still, many people will find you online on booking.com or Agoda or any other channel, and they will contact you directly if you have a good Google My Business profile, for example. So there's a very strong billboard effect. It's also very important, you know, unfortunately, because of the situation, a lot staff has reduced. So you need to achieve more with a smaller team, which is not
right.
Yeah, you need to achieve much more with a smaller team. And you have to focus on the total revenue per month, not only on the kind of rate per day per room, you know?
Right.
So this is really interesting because as forces change. And I think that's probably why you came up with eZee Mint. I think you can take the next slide.
Sure.
So that automated dynamic pricing is extremely exciting, specifically when it happens the way you've done it, fully integrated with the property management system. So there's no integration problems. You know, you're able to read data in real time to see your trends, your occupancy, your day of the week, all the factors you mentioned earlier, and then you can put up a very good dynamic pricing system. We have actually tried it on a few properties. I'll show that to you later, and we see that there's no manual work needed. Of course, as a revenue manager, you should check from time to time, but you do see that the rate change according to the rules. So what's very interesting for the revenue manager is that you use much more time on strategy. You can do the competitor analysis. You can work on a very, very different level than just changing rates all the time. So it saves a lot of time, and then make sure that you have the right price at the right time. So I think I can do a small case study that we've done one property on the last slide.
Sure.
So this is a very nice property in a good area in Nairobi. It's called Edmo Suites. They have apartments. And it's one of the first properties that we implemented your system on. What you see here is the performance per day before and after we started dynamic pricing. And you can see the daily target there. So what's interesting here is that it's quite a big difference, to be honest. Maybe the revenue manager didn't do good enough before. Maybe the prices was too static. But you see that after we implemented dynamic rates, we were able to increase revenue substantially. You also see the blue line here under is the online. So I think the OTAs must be very happy with you because they really increased business. All of this also includes website bookings to the booking engine. Yeah. So this is very encouraging, and you know we are looking forward to rolling your solution out on much more properties. Okay,
great. Thank you, Endre. We'll move to some questions that I had for you. Okay. Yeah. So I have seen this. We are closely monitoring the pricing band. Okay. And then what has come to my mind, or what we are observing, is that even star properties are now slashing the price. Okay. So how Hotel Online is helping those small and mid-sized hotels to fight that fierce competition that they are facing from bigger brands in today's day?
So while we have a lot of respect for the star properties, I feel they are not so dynamic as we are able to do together with the technology and the services offering. It seems like the reaction to market trends are still a bit slower, and of course the That's what I have seen. However, what you need to do is to be hands-on. You need to look. You need to make sure that for small properties, the most important thing, to be honest, is to perform well on OTAs, because you don't have big marketing budgets, and the billboard effect is so strong. So you really need to do good on OTAs. If you focus on that, a lot of business will come. And traditionally, the bigger chains try to convert more traffic to their own websites. So you typically will see that the big chains are not doing as good on OTAs as they could have, because they focus on direct business, while smaller properties, just need to do well on OTAs. So that's like one thing we focus very on. Once you do good on OTAs, you can always convert that traffic to direct bookings, either through your website or through automated communication. So you bring in the guests next time they book.
Okay. One more question that we had for you is that how is pricing affecting or impacting on the customer behavior now?
So I think price has always been important, but the fierce competition and dynamic rates might lead to guests taking the decision even later. So there's an extreme increase in last-minute bookings. This might also be. I also think that's related to more domestic travel. Your biggest share of the market is domestic. They take the decisions later, especially if you travel to various African countries. So I think even more last-minute booking, especially also when availability is high. It's not very difficult to get a room. So last-minute booking, and then of course things like mobile is going to be very important. Stuff like that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Endre, for a great presentation. I think the case study always, the numbers speak for themselves, and how system is helping the hoteliers. Okay, this is a great case study. We'd like to include it in our slides also further, sometimes when we speak to the hotels, right? Thank you so much. With that, we will now take questions from the audience who've been very patiently waiting for their turn. So I think this is the first question that I'd like either Reece or Mathieu to take up. That I do not have much room. The easy cancellation blocks my opportunity to get room full, as customer tend to cancel last minute. Do you have a better method or suggestion for these problems? Like, how do you get your occupancy full and then also avoid last minute cancellations? So what would be a strategy that a hotelier should use? Mathieu or Reece?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the last minute cancellations, I talked a little bit about, utilizing your non-refundable rates, and even potentially early booker rates in that regard, right? So if you can capture as much, it's a difficult environment with a lot of things last minute at the moment, but customers, I mentioned that customers are out there early researching, right? They're researching. We've seen that behavior where they're researching much further in advance. They may not be booking further, like they may not be booking until the last minute, but they're actually doing their research further in advance. So you can try and capture that. So having a good foundation with your non-refundable policies to try and capture that business early, and it reduces cancellations by 9%, as I said, from our data. So that would be like my advice there from the booking side.
Okay, Mathieu, would you like to contribute something on this?
Yeah, I'm aligned with Reece. I think it's also a case by case. I think we can really also look into the different components. It's not only about the capacity or the size of the property. It's also about where it is. The type of customers you want to attract. So yeah, I think it's more like a recommendation when we are talking about flexible or semi-flexible, rates and cancellation policies. I think keep in mind that your non-refundable rates are also important, and it can be a bit more suitable to your property. So I think it's finding the right balance between these three components.
Okay, great. Okay, there was one more question. This was for Harshdeep. Harshdeep, somebody wanted to know if we are looking into implementing AI-based approach.
really good question, I would say. Yeah, of course. Why not? That is a simple and concise answer. Definitely, likewise, you know that time to time when the situation has demanded, eZee always has come ahead and tried to solve the customer problems. And this is the
Right.
first step that we have taken towards this entire value proposition that we have, that is a revenue management itself. So for now, this is, I would say, not that much a smart system that we have. Of course, you have to configure this once, and once that is done, everything can work for you on your behalf. Yeah. So, but in future, definitely we want to come up with something smart engine where it reads all the market trends and business pattern in background and put forward all the suggestions that they have towards your pricing. Yeah, so
Okay.
definitely we are willing to work on such smart system in future, definitely.
Okay, great. Okay, I think we'll take this one last question that has come for me. So somebody wanted to know that how eZee is going to help in implementation of Mint. So we have a team of revenue executives set up who will be working closely with our hoteliers whenever you reach out to us. We will be providing you with a thorough training. We will help you set up the pricings. We will help you modify the rules on time to time basis till you and I both are comfortable and confident enough that you will be able to manage the rule engine by yourself in the future. And even when you start doing so and you come across any glitch, any question, any query, you can always reach out to us. We are always here to help you out with all your queries, all your questions, and ensure that you can gain maximum out of the dynamic pricing tool that we have created. Okay, this, I think with that, okay, this. Okay, Alice, when a hotel has to focus on competition in its location, yes, Alice, we will still be helping, because when we are working on competition rule, I just give you one quick snapshot and then we'll wind up. So like Harshdeep mentioned, that we'll not only be able to fetch the pricing, but we will also be able to modify our price based on the competition. So we are working on that. Very soon we'll be able to share more details on how this is going to work. Stay tuned on that part and we'll definitely come back to you. So I think with that, we will wrap this session up. I'd like to thank Reece, Mathieu, Endre, Akira for joining this. Thank you so much, guys, for providing your time and valuable insights. I'm sure hoteliers are going to take something really good from this session. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Likewise, thank you.
Thanks, all of you.
You guys have a lovely day. Bye-bye.